You can just tap your screen. Amazing. Welcome to part 6 of the 40-minute segments for core integration of season 3. We'll be starting with floor work today, and we're putting together all of the elements. So it's quite tough. Do what you can. If you're feeling destabilized in the lower back, make adjustments, please, and do it at a slightly less intense level, particularly if you're feeling that the lower back is destabilized. If you tend to have sacroiliac joint and tailbone issues, and it's very sore in your tailbone or sacroiliac joint, you're going to begin with your blanket folded underneath the sacrum, which I think that we'll do anyway, so that when you come down, you have ease each time that we complete an exercise. So you can begin by taking your blanket and just folding it like this, and then placing it across your mat. Welcome, Don. And we will then be coming down and onto the blanket with the sacrum and lying down on your back. So that there's just a little bit of elevation for the sacrum. We're in constructive rest now. Soles of the feet are on the ground. They're exactly hips distance apart. Knees are also hips distance apart. Relax your palms onto your blanket. And then soften the shoulders. Just taking a few centering breaths, a deeper, longer inhale breath, followed by a deeper and longer exhale breath, and then 2 or 3 normal breath cycles. Just noticing how the breath is feeling for you today. And we'll take one more centering breath before beginning, a longer inhale breath without strain. You're not grasping for the breath. And a longer exhale breath. And then returning to your natural breath. Press your feet firmly into the ground and engage first. We all know by now that the engagement is the top of the pubic bone, comes down towards the base of the uterus or the navel, the belly button. So you're shortening the space between the top of the pubic bone and the belly button. That's important. Feel as though you're activating the inner thighs, squeezing slightly inwards to the inner thighs. Keep that engagement of pubic bone and belly button towards each other, and begin to lift the hips up and into a bridge. Press firmly into your feet so that your shoulders feel like they're sliding up the mat, and lift the hips even higher. Take 2 deep breaths here. On each exhale, feel as though you're pulling the navel to the lower back, or the mid-spine, should I say, and that you're drawing them together. Inhale, there's a slight relaxing of the belly. Exhale, activate the navel down. Now hold. And heel toe your right foot a little bit closer to the left leg. Push into your right foot, lift your left knee up, and straighten the left leg straight up to the sky. Press firmly into the palms. Then make a little circle with your left leg, a very little circle. Feel as though you're moving from inside the hip joint. That leg is 90 degrees up to the sky. So the circle arises from inside the hip as you create a little circle. Change direction, go the other way. Keep the breath smooth and keep trying to elevate the hips. Stop, bring that leg down, opposite your right leg, but still the left leg is long. Now pulse. Little pulsing movements with that left leg at a 40-degree angle. Deep breaths. Bend the left knee, place your foot on the ground, and slowly release the lower back onto the blanket. Relax. So those movements are to strengthen and activate the iliopsoas muscles and the deep, deep transverse and pelvic floor muscles. Again, pubic bone and belly button shortens, comes together. This means that the tail will rise naturally without over tucking. Push firmly into the feet, feel your shoulders slide on the mat slightly, and lift your hips high. Press firmly into the ground with your palms. Keep lifting the hips higher as you push into the feet and press back through the shoulders. Take an exhale, deepening the belly button towards the spine. Deep inhalation, reach your right leg straight up to the sky. Press firmly into the left foot, and now make a little circle with the right leg. Keep pressing firmly into the ground with your palms. See if you can keep the hips elevated. It's looking good, Tammy. Don't wiggle the hips too much. Feel the movement coming from inside that right hip joint. Change the direction and go the other way. Good. Keep pressing firmly into that left foot. Now take the right leg parallel to your left thigh. Right leg straight. Push into the ground, lift the hips higher, and begin to pulsate that right leg up and down, up and down. Small movements, small movements, small movements. It's just little tiny pulsations. It's looking good, Tammy. That's it. You got it, Dom. Can't see you, Safna. Nice. Claudia, keep trying to lift the hips a little bit higher. A little bit more energy in the hips up. That's it. Bend your knee. Hi, Safna. Bend your knee. Step your foot onto the ground and relax your hips back down to the earth, back onto your blanket. Relax for a moment and just allow. Beautiful. Now, press your palms into the ground. Take your right leg straight up to the sky. And then slowly lift your left shin parallel to the ground. Left shin parallel. Take your left hand, wrap it around the back of the left thigh. Reach your right arm overhead, long and strong. Pull the left thigh, but do not let the thigh come towards the belly. Keep pulling the thigh away with resistance. Flare your toes. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly. Start to bring that right leg down. Keep pulling the left thigh away as though you're stretching out your body. Right heel almost comes to the ground. Pulse. Little tiny pulsing movements. The right heel is just an inch or so off the ground and you're pulsing. Keep pulling the right thigh, left thigh like crazy and reaching length through the right side. This is the easy part. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Right leg straight, bring it back to 90 degrees. Excellent. Now, from here, take your left palm and press it into the front of the left thigh at the base where the hip bone is. Take your right hand, bring it underneath your head. Push into your left thigh like crazy. Pull your pubic bone and belly button towards each other. Lift your head slightly off the mat, holding with the hand, and exhale. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Bring that right leg down. Slow, slow. Keep squeezing the belly down. Slow, slow. Push into the right thigh. Left thigh, sorry. Reach that right leg long. Pause. Pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly begin to lift that right leg up and hug both knees to the chest. Please control the movements. Be mindful of how you use the breath as well. Place both feet on the ground. Take a deep breath in and out. Lift your left leg straight up to the sky. Grip your right thigh behind, right shin parallel to the ground. Pull the right thigh away, but at the same time, you're pulling into the thigh. Beautiful. Reach your left arm overhead, stretch the arm back. Press through the ball of the left foot, make that left leg super active. Tendency might be to overarch the lower back. Please don't. Pull the lower back down into the blanket. Pubic bone and belly button towards each other. On your exhale, slowly begin to bring that leg down. Inhale. Exhale, keep traveling that length of the left leg down. When the heel is a couple of inches off the ground, keep stretching into your left fingers, pull like crazy into your right thigh, and then pulse that left foot, that left leg, up and down. Small little movements. This is just to engage the correct muscle, so when we take it to the deeper variation just now, you'll feel the intensity. Pull into the right thigh, slowly lift that left leg up. Take your hand underneath your head. Bring your right hand to the front of the right thigh, press. Engage by pulling the pubic bone and belly button towards each other. Lift your head slightly. Press into the right thigh like crazy. Keep engaging length through the left leg. Slowly bring the left leg down. Now it's going to be more intense. You're going to feel it into the core muscles. Slow, 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 slow. And then pulse when you get that left leg just off the ground. Pulse. Push like crazy into the right thigh. Press into the thigh. Don't disengage. Press into the right thigh. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Looking so good. Claudia, your right thigh is too close to you. Bring the knee away and push more. Knee away. There. Now, Claudia, you're engaging. Whilst you were pulling the thigh too close to your body, there's no engagement. Slowly bring that leg back up. Once you've got the leg to 90, you can now relax your head and hug your knees to your chest. So, Claudia, I want you to understand that when you bring your bent knee too close to your body, you're actually disengaging the muscles that you're supposed to be using. By keeping the knee over the hip continuously and not allowing them to come too close to the ribs, then you're truly engaging. So I'd like you to feel that one more time. And this time we'll take it simply through the one variation. Pick your left shin up, reach your right leg straight up to the sky, press your left palm onto the front of your thigh, hand behind your head. Now, Claudia, you were kind of doing this, bringing the leg too close. Keep the knee over the hip, push like crazy. Inhale, grow the length of the leg, lift your head, bring your pubic bone and belly button towards each other. Exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly. Bring that right leg down. Press through the ball of the foot. Your shoulders are hardly off the mat. You're just tucking your chin slightly towards your chest and then push into your left thigh like crazy. Don't let the left thigh come towards your body. Push into the left thigh and engage. It's as though you're resisting the thigh and the palm into each other as you do this. That's it. Claudia, belly's not popping, right? Is it deepening? And then hug your knees to your chest. Okay. So if it is too intense for you to do this with a leg long, your long leg, you can always have the knee slightly bent. And I'll demonstrate that quickly for those of you who don't feel that you're ready for the extended variation. So this time my right shin, left leg long. If you need to, you can have the knee bent and you just slide the heel like this, rather than that. It's much easier, but you'll still be gaining the benefits that you need. So Safna, see how your body feels. Right. Right palm on the front of the right thigh, thigh and shin perpendicular, left leg straight. Hand underneath the head, lift the chin slightly, your shoulders aren't coming off the mat, the full spine is on the mat except for the cervical. Press like crazy into the right thigh, elongate the left leg, slowly bring the left leg down. Make sure your belly's not popping. You might feel engagement, you might feel the separation, you'll feel the separation underneath your fingers, but it shouldn't be making a ridge. The separation can feel as though it's flattening and widening slightly, but it's not ridging up like that. Just make sure of that. It looks good, Dom, and pulse. Safna, keep your knee bent and just slide your heel away a few times. Control the movement. Push your right thigh away with your hand. And then hug your knees to your chest. Tammy, you weren't feeling a dinosaur back, rather just you'll feel the muscles around the separation kind of engaging, but it's not doing this with the internal organs pushing up through the separation. That's what you have.
It wasn't doing that, but if it does do that, what do you do?
If it does that, then you need to go to the simpler variation, keep your knee bent and slide your heel. You can even place the heel on the ground and slide the heel away, and that's the safer version if your internal organs are pushing into the separation, and you'll feel it. It like ridges up like a dinosaur back. Okay. Whereas if the separation, you can feel the edges of the separation and you can feel the ridge, that's okay as long as it's not pressing up. Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to show you, now take the blanket from underneath you and roll the blanket up and bring it between your thighs. You can even fold the blanket, do whatever you need to so that you've got a wedge between the thighs. And then I'd like you to place your hands, if you have a separation, place your hands, interweave your fingers like this, so that your fingers slide into each other, like that, and then place it over the separation, just below the navel. Good. Now, from here, lift your shins, and as soon as you lift your shins, you'll feel your belly puff up slightly. So now what I want you to do is engage. Pubic bone and belly button towards each other. Wrap your hands around your separation. Flex your feet. Lift your head just off the mat. Look straight up to the sky, and then slowly, slowly bring your heels down, but pull down through your separation. If it's popping, then keep your hands on the mat underneath your hips and squeeze the belly down and slide the heels away. If the separation is popping, hands underneath the hips, slide the heels away if the separation is popping. And you can do that instead. Squeeze the blanket, this engages. Beautiful. Now, come back to center. Bring your hands to the base of the thighs, heels of the hands in the creases of the hips. Dig your elbows into your mat, and then pull your pubic bone and belly button together. Push into the thighs like crazy. Now, take a deep inhale, squeeze the blanket, push into the thighs, lift your head, pull your belly down. And then inhale, relax. Exhale, chin to chest, lift the head, push into your thighs, squeeze the blanket, pull your belly down. It feels super crazy intense. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze the blanket, push into your thighs like crazy, lift only your chin, shoulders stay to the ground. Dom, I can actually see your belly drawing in and down. It's so good. And then relax. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, press into. Good. Tammy, I can see the engagement. I can see it happening. Keep pushing into your thighs. Squeeze the blanket. Safna, I want you to bring more energy into squeezing the blanket and pushing into your thighs. Hands push into your thighs. And then thighs push into your hands. And come down. Hug your knees to your chest, relax. Remember, squeezing inward with the blanket engages the deep pelvic floor muscles. Often we disengage those muscles and we over-recruit the glutes or the quadriceps. You want to be engaging through the inner iliopsoas muscles as well. Good. Roll onto your side and come onto all fours. Take one book or block underneath your right hand. Take the other book or block underneath your left knee. You know where we're going. We're using a destabilizing surface to stabilize the deep core. So begin with your right knee and left palm on the ground. Now, push into the right palm and squeeze up through the muscles of the armpit so that you're rounding your spine slightly, but not overly so. Naturally bring your weight onto your left foot. Pick your left foot up off the ground. Bring your right shin level with your left shin. Left hand level with your right. And then find stability. See if you can keep squeezing up into the inner groin to bring the knees to the same level. And then find stability. See if you can just find stillness here. Hold, become as still as you can. Reach your left palm forward, take your right leg back, don't dump your lower back. Push firmly into knee and into the palm. Hold. Now, flex your right foot, and then lift the right leg slightly and pulse. Bring the right toes almost to the ground. Lift and pulse. Keep reaching the left arm forward as you pulse that right leg. Don't waggle the hip too much. Work inside the hip joint. Your right shoulder is working hard. Feel breath across the front body as you pulse. Now, inhale, point the right toes, look up. Exhale, elbow to knee, squeeze up, and keep trying to find your balance. You might topple, but see if you can do this one more time. Reach, extend, inhale, exhale, squeeze, come to center. Now extend, pause, stabilize, and then bring your palms down and shift the blocks to change sides. So it's actually harder than it looks, particularly if you are paying attention to coming into center and stabilizing. So once again, push into the left palm, shift your weight onto the right knee. Already lift your belly and squeeze it up. Bring the pubic bone and the belly button towards each other, that engagement. And then shift onto the left knee. Both feet are off the ground. So don't keep your right toe on the ground. Lift the right toe, then squeeze up between the shoulder blades to bring your palms level with each other. The right arm just hanging exactly level with the left. Check your knees and see that you've got your left knee level with the right. It's tricky. Hold. Keep your gaze absolutely steady and see if you can just find stability. Reach your right arm forward, extend your left leg back, try to keep your balance. Flex your left foot, lift the heel slightly above the level of the hip, and then pulse it down to almost touch the ground. And do that several times. Keep reaching strongly into your right fingertips. Keep your gaze to the ground as you extend and pulse. Toes almost touch the ground, and then the heel lifts just above the level of the hip. Good. Now, extend and reach. And elbow to knee. Squeeze up between the shoulder blades. Don't arch the lower back. Squeeze up through the lower back. Elbow to knee. Now, when you extend, find absolute balance. Reach forward. This looks amazing, Tammy. Reach. Good. And then bring it in. Squeeze the belly up. Find your center. Nice. Now extend and reach. Pause. Come back to still. Come back to still. Dom, it's like, whoop, whoop, where am I? And then gently bring the knee and the palm down. Take the blocks away. And just sit down on your heels for a moment. Nice. So not easy at all, but it's always great to challenge your body when you want to fix the diastasis recti. It's great to challenge your body on uneven surfaces, because by default, the body has to continuously come back into its center. And by doing that, you without necessarily trying specifically, you activate through the correct muscle groups to bring yourself constantly back into the midline, which is quite an important concept for fixing DR. Okay, yes, one more here. So now, I'm going to use a blanket because I know that we all have blankets and we don't all have yoga blocks. Roll your blanket up so that it's quite fat, so that when you bring it between the thighs, your knees are actually hips distance apart underneath your hips. So your knees are hips distance. So the blanket should be a little bit fat. Spread your palms and bring your wrists directly underneath your shoulders. Then tuck your toes under. Press into the balls of the feet and anchor. So feel the pushback through the balls of the feet. Now, I'd like you to feel something. Spread your palms, bring your chin towards your chest, push into the balls of the feet and notice what happens when you traction through the big toes. Push down, immediately you'll feel that engagement through the pubic bone and belly button. So instead of having this, where you've got a lordosis in the back, and your belly is flopping down, push into the balls of the feet and feel the pubic bone and the belly button moving towards each other. There's a slight rounding in the spine. Pick your knees up so that they're level with your heels. They're just off the ground. Knees come off the ground. And inhale. Exhale, squeeze your blanket. Squeeze up through the belly. Inhale. And then exhale, squeeze the blanket. Lift the knees slightly higher, Claudia, so they're level with your heels. The knees just lift. There. That's exactly right. Squeeze the blanket. And inhale, relax it slightly. Exhale, squeeze the blanket. Inhale, relax slightly. Exhale, squeeze the blanket. Push into the toe pads. Ooh, and relax. Let's just work out the wrists quickly. You can keep the blanket exactly where it is, but just flip the wrists so that the fingers face the knees and just rock backwards and forwards a couple of times. Come to sit down on the heels and just roll out the wrists because we have one more to do in this. Good. Once you've shaken out your wrists, you've got the blood flow back. Press your palms onto the ground once again. Make sure that your blanket is snug between your thighs. Tuck your toes under. Now, this is super hard, okay? But it is so good for a separation. Lift your knees just off the ground. Squeeze the blanket. Squeeze up through the belly. And then start to roll the hips in little circles. Roll the hips. Try and keep squeezing the blanket so that your knees aren't wobbling too much and you're actually taking the movement through the ribs and the hips more. Squeeze the blanket. Squeeze the blanket. And then change direction. Go the other way. Little tiny circles the other way. Tuck the tail, tuck the pubic bone. Then release the tail slightly. Tuck and release. Tuck and release. That's it. I can actually see the tucking happening. Dom's going, oh, I can feel that. I can feel that. I can definitely feel that. Keep bringing the knees, less wobbly knees, more in the hips, Dom, more in the hips. Tuck. Tammy, you've got it. You could be a belly dancer. Just keep the knees more firm. Roll in the hips. Come down when you're ready. Woo! Tammy worked so hard on that one. She worked so hard. So can I explain what happened in Tammy's body there? She kept her knees more or less firm, hardly moving the knees. She squeezed the blanket like crazy, and she did a little belly dance move through the ribs and the hips by focusing on the pubic bone, tucking it and releasing it, tucking it and releasing it. So for you, Dom, you were still moving your knees a lot. And then that takes it, that you don't have as much control into the deep core. By the time Tammy had finished, she was feeling the burn from the pubic bone right up underneath the ribs. Am I right, Tammy? That's where she was going to be feeling the burn because she was focusing on, as though she's rolling a marble around her belly button. Tuck, release, tuck, release. We're just going to do 3 rounds one way, 3 rounds the other. But I'd like you to squeeze the blanket so hard and hardly move your knees that all you're focusing on is getting the ribs, the belly button, and the pubic bone into a little spiraling motion. 3 one direction, 3 the other. So the setup important. Focus, and it can be slow. It can be a slow rotation. So spread your palms, tuck your toes, lift, squeeze the blanket, and hardly move the knees and focus only as though you're making a little circle around your belly button. Yes, Dom. Nice, Claudia. Change direction, go the other way. It's crazy intense. Yes, Dom, you've got it. Nice, Claudia. It's a little belly dance move. Literally rolling out the ribs and the belly. When you've done your 3 each direction, you can come on down and relax. Woo, nice. So good. Excellent. So I think that we will go to our balancing series now that we've engaged through the core. I was going to do one more floor, but the time isn't with us. So fold your blanket up to that unstable surface again. and place it on the mat. And then come on up. Beautiful. Stand with your left foot on your blanket. You've done this with me before. We're lengthening the iliopsoas. We're creating an unstable surface for our bodies to keep readjusting back towards midline. Stand with the left leg, and then just begin by marching out the right side first, swinging it. As the right leg comes forward, the arm goes back, and just swing. Listen to any funny little clicks and pops in the spine as well. And at first, you're just getting the swing going, yes? And now, start to take your proprioceptive gaze to different places. So now I'm swinging a little bit more wild, and what happens? My body goes, oh, 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 make an adjustment, and I'm going to try and get my body back to the midline without putting my foot on the ground or falling over. So it doesn't matter how wild you get. You can even lean back slightly, take it forward, move it around, just keep swinging. And your core is doing what nature intended. If you were running, if you were going over uneven surfaces, what is happening is that all the muscles of the body that need to reiterate balance turn on naturally, and it brings you back. And so that's essentially what we're mimicking here, is those natural movements in nature. And step down, relax, standing on 2 feet and just feeling, nice. And you'll feel how all of those muscles in the feet are lifting the arches. And when that happens, you improve your skeletal and your posture as well. It's quite fascinating. And then taking it to the other side, right foot. Begin by just marching so that you get in balance. This lengthens and hydrates the psoas muscles, which are amazing. This is why running is so good. But now, you'll start to play. So take your body onto various inclined planes. Take your gaze around the room. And when you take your gaze around the room, you have to bring your body back to stability. I believe that the reason that we have more and more separations, A, you have athletes, and athletes are more prone to separations because their core muscles are so strong. But B, many women that aren't athletes and getting separations, we are training ourselves in linear ways of doing things. So we look at our phones and our devices for hours, and we're in a linear state of being continuously, and we're hardly ever taking ourselves into these kind of movements where we're constantly having to challenge the body on various planes. And here we go back into center, even though I always touch the ground with my fingers. And that's so important. So moving out of the linear patterning and into a slightly wilder sense of being and stepping it down. And you're coming back into your wild woman self, but the correct muscle groups are going, haven't felt you in a while, but here we go. I can work to bring the body back into center. So it seems like a really simple exercise, but play with it, work with it, and you'll find that not only do you improve the integrity of the feet, you improve the integrity of your whole postural body. Now we're going to take it a little bit more challenging. So, hopefully, Tammy, your books are, it's disappeared. 2 blocks. Hopefully, Tammy, your books are more or less the same height. And even if they're not, that's fine. We'll just take the challenge. And what I'm doing is I'm creating negative space between my blocks that's going to be for the arches of my feet. So on the left side of the mat, place the blocks with a negative space between the 2 blocks. So that when I stand, it gives the negative space, the bridge of the arch goes over the negative space, and the ball and the heel of the foot is on the block. Now, for this one, we're not going to get wild. We're going to start to work in deeper integrity. Take your fingers and ring them around the top of the hips. Strengthen up through the left side. Don't slop into the hip. Lift up through the left side and dangle your right foot. My right foot is not on the ground. It's just dangling off. Now, I only want my right side to elevate as high as possible. Squeeze up, that leg is still dangling, and then drop the foot just off the ground. Don't put it on the ground, skim it just off. Up and down. And what we're doing is we're creating deep integrity into not only the groin, the iliopsoas, but also the deep core muscles by just lift and release. The foot doesn't touch the ground, it lifts up and then just skims the ground. Try to keep your body continuously, Dom. I'd like you to have more awareness. Look directly forward, Dom, so your chin doesn't drop. And I'd like you to have more awareness. Instead of doing this with your body, you can even place your hand on the top of your head and try and keep, can you see how I'm not moving my body off the vertical plane? And that's quite important for this. I'm not moving my body out of the vertical plane. I'm just lifting the hip and releasing and keeping my spine through integrity. That's it. Intense. Okay, now from here, you can release your right foot. Keep your left knee bent. We're going to work out the hamstring first, and then we're going to work with a little bit of movement and balance across vertical and horizontal planes. Bend your knees, bring your hands just above the thighs. Straighten the spine. Straighten the right leg. Fingertips come to the ground. Straighten the left leg. If your fingertips can't touch the ground, bring your hands to your shins, but keep the left leg straight. Asymmetry is still working in the body here. Good. Excellent. We're just conditioning the hamstring first before we move through the next phase. If the hamstring is lengthened and hydrated and conditioned, it'll just make it easier. Sweep your arms up, rise. Press your hands together above your head. Shift your weight onto the left side, dangle your right leg. Keep in balance, keep on the horizontal plane. Beautiful, hands to the hips. Slowly, 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 take that right leg back. Find balance. Bend the left knee and step the right foot to the ground. Place the left palm up, right arm down by your hip. So right arm down by the hip. It's a warrior one foundation, left arm up. Beautiful. And press onto the ball of the right foot, shift, lift, switch the arms, extend, hold, breathe, bend the left knee, ball of the right foot, heel, right arm down, left arm up. Take a breath. And press onto the ball of the foot, shift, lift, switch arms, balance, breathe, bend, ball of the foot, heel, switch the arms. And press, lift, reach, switch, balance, hold. Nice, Dom. And bend the knee, ball of the foot, heel, switch the arms. We'll do that one more time. And press onto the ball of the foot. Shift, lift, switch, reach, hold, breathe, balance, explore. Nice. And step back. Beautiful. Keeping that asymmetry, bring both hands behind the head. Now, tendency with people with any abdominal separation is overarching the lower back and also having some mobility in the joints, hypermobility. So from here, pubic bone and belly button towards each other. So no lower back arch, pubic bone and belly button, press firm into the left foot and draw the belly and the pubic bone together. Deep inhale as you press firmly back into the palms with the head. Inhale, exhale, swivel, resist the swivel, and then feel the twist, squeeze and scissor the inner thighs. Take a deep inhale through the swivel, exhale, right elbow over the left knee. Inhale, rise, still keeping your chest to the left, and exhale, center. Press the head into the palms, palms into the head. Don't overarch the lower back. Pull the pubic bone and the belly button towards each other. Inhale here, Exhale, squeeze the belly in, swivel purposefully to the left. Exhale, right elbow over the left knee. We're now getting the horizontal tissues of the body to talk to each other. Come up and then rotate. Yep, got to keep your balance. So with the foot elevated on the blocks, we're challenging the body through different planes of motion continuously, and we're inviting the body to work with asymmetry to bring us back into our centers. And let's switch. So take the blocks to your right side, negative space between your blocks or books, stand, hands to the hips. So this is what I do not want to see. As you lift, your body is swinging over, swing, we don't want to see that. Pubic bone, crown, straight line, active on the right side, and then left hip lifts as far high up as you can, and the foot skims the ground. Lift and release, lift and release. So trying to keep the body on the vertical and feeling the deep inner muscles. Now what I want you to do is push your fingers into this groin area here. See, right here, where here's the pubic bone there. And now do it again. Lift and then slowly bring it down. Lift and slowly bring it down. And just notice how hard those muscles are having to work. And those are all part of the integration. Those are all what we need to find in order to work nicely with the body. Beautiful. Excellent. And then from here, reach both palms up above your head. Wrap the thumbs and press the palms together fully. Press up firmly onto the right foot. Hover the left. Deep breath right up. Lift the left hip. Slowly, slowly, slowly take it back. Warrior 3. You can bring your hands to your hips if you want. Bend your right knee. Slowly bring that left foot down. Beautiful. Right arm reaches to the sky. Left palm down by your thigh. Warrior 1 foundation. And ball of the foot. Lift. Press. Shift. Switch. Balance. Reach. Hold. Bend the knee. Ball of the foot. Heel. Switch the arms. Good. Keep in balance and lift onto the ball of the foot. Lift. Switch as you press forward. Reach. Extend. Nice. And stepping back, ball of the foot, rolling onto the heel, switching the arms. And press. Lift. Balance. Reach. Switch. Hold. A little bit lower in the chest dome. Get it down slightly. Nice. There we go. Challenge yourself. And then ball of the foot to heel. That's a good one. That was a good one. And we have one more to go. First of all, find your core. Find your integrity. Find your midline. Press up onto the ball of the foot. And press. Lift. Reach. Switch. Hold. Switch the arms. That's it. Hold. Nice. Loving it, Tammy. It's great work. And then slowly come back. The deeper you focus, the more your muscles will respond, the better balance you'll have, the more on point you will be. Okay, so now we've got that asymmetrical warrior 1. Interlace your hands behind your head. No funny arching of the back. Draw up through the pubic bone. Press your head into your hand. Push your right foot into the ground. Push your left foot into the ground. Zip up. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Slowly twist. And really be sure that you're feeling everything through the resistance of the twist. And then elbow over. Knee through the exhale. Push firmly into the back foot. It's so tricky. It's so tricky. It's so easy to just topple over and then slowly come up. This is a good control on this one, Dom, Safna. I hope you're managing to follow. Beautiful. And once you come back into the center up again. It's very easy to slop the belly forward again. So zip up here, push your head into your hands, squeeze around the ribs, slowly rotate, with resistance. Feel as though something's pushing back on you and you're having to push into a strong wall as you twist. Then take it over into the full twist, elbow over the knee. Keep the integrity around the ribs and the belly. You might not fold all the way. That's okay. It's not about how deep you go. It's about still feeling the connection of the muscles as you go. And then come on up. Nice. We've got one more to go, I think we did 3 on the other side. Engage, zip up, head into hands, hand into heads. Feel all the muscles contract. Work through the twist, through the contraction of the muscles. Then take it into the twist. Then rise, still in the twist. And then open up. Nice, nice, nice. And step it back. Relax your arms by the side. Excellent, excellent. So good. There's one more very quick exercise that I want to do. And I know that we've gone slightly over the 40 minutes, but that's okay. It's a quick one. And that is using the integrity of the vertical and the spine to move up and down without touching the ground. I cannot impress how important it is to get these kind of movements in order to reintegrate the core after birth. In many traditional, or should I say, in many societies that haven't been, that don't have the same addiction to chairs that we do, these are natural movement patterns. Take either your book, block, or blanket, roll it up like this, and then come to kneel partway down your mat. So you've got some space in front of you. So you're kind of halfway on your mat. And then place your blanket, block, whatever it is that you're using on your head, and bring your hands to your hips. So in indigenous cultures, these movements are very natural. Women can get off the ground with heavy loads on their head without touching the ground with their hands, and whilst keeping the heavy load on the head without it falling. None of these women have abdominal separation, by the way. This is a modern phenomenon, this abdominal separation. So from here, hands to the hips, and lift, step your left foot forward, tuck your right toes under, rise and step. Right leg trails and stands. We'll take the right foot back, step, right knee comes down, don't thump it, left knee, sit. This time you'll be left leg leads, rise. No, right leg leads, left tucks, rise, step, take it back, left leg brings the knee down, right to follow. Beautiful. And then rise, left, tuck the right toes, left step, right leg back, knee down, come down, sit. And then start to speed it up a little. And see if you can get a little bit more speed. Don't thump the knees. Be very mindful of the knees, and then just switch each time to the other leg forward. The leg that trailed, you'll also take back and down with each movement. So that you're just feeling, and keep going, trying to keep that prop on your head as you come down and through. Beautiful. And just doing this several times. And of course, you'll notice one way to reintegrate the core is also to strengthen the glute muscles again. So it's all quite interesting. Just a couple more. If your knees are hurting, stop. Interesting, isn't it? So the prop on the top of your head is just helping you to understand how you can actually find your integrity in the midline. And if you keep orienting to the integrity of the midline, before long, your whole body keeps organizing around the midline. And you have your core, whether you try hard or not, just through that body awareness continuously through the course of a day. Often we're breastfeeding, we get up, rounded spine, we toss the baby chair over, put the baby in, our spine is still rounded. We haven't associated it. What if when you've moved from breastfeeding, you say, let's pretend I have this thing on my head. Immediately you're saying, my core's here. Then use movement patterns as you move baby, as you move all your baby paraphernalia. You'll find that it's not only a joy, but that body awareness that connects you to your deep core and your power. Once again, it's such a pleasure. It's a pleasure to make every activity fun. And how am I holding myself in this moment? Not just when you're doing core yoga. How am I holding myself in each moment that I'm working around my family, my baby, especially if you're in baby number 2 or 3 and you have a separation. If you're not keeping that core integrity throughout with how you're picking your baby up and moving your body, the separation will happen again. Which is why make every activity, every movement aware and fun. I am doing this for myself, I'm doing this for my strength, I'm doing this for my baby, and I'm going to work with primal movement patterning. How am I feeling? How am I holding my body? Oh, let's just work this way. Even when you're tired, it can actually help to take the tiredness away from the body. Nice. Unmute yourself for any questions, any feedback. How are we doing? We're good. So that's part 6. We will be starting from ground zero again next week. If your preference is to continue to do some more challenging ones, maybe you're ready to come onto a flow class, I will be posting a flow onto this core group, which was a Saturday flow. It'll be a gifted class into this core group, Saturday flow. Give it a try, work mindfully, and see how it felt in your body. Make adjustments for that flow as well. Okay. Amazing. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining today. I'm so glad we could get it together today, and thanks for your patience for this, Tammy, and everybody else who sort of popped on and off a couple of times.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
See you soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.